All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is Thursday, March 13th, 2025. This is episode 833 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, and over the next hour, me, you, Marcus Kyler of the Yeet Crew, the entire pre-show Jaw Jack and panel group. I saw them, Cam Godet, Malware, Trini, JT Webb, Mara Levy, riding dirty myself. Nobody in mod chat this morning, so I'll depend on all of you for audio issues and clarification. So holla, holla, holla. Guys, we got a great show for you. Over the next hour, we're going to be ripping apart the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of the stories on what it means to you as a practitioner. So Shakira Williams, how can you use this information to drive cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders? Marlon Johnson, how you can do it too. Augusta Delgado, Team Solo, operating by himself, but with the virtual co-workers and workforce and, support group, I guess is probably a good word, of the Simply Cyber community, able to hold on one second, able to drop ideas, concepts, and thoughts. Oh my God. All right. So Casually Joseph's in here. Good morning, Casually Joseph. Guys, you know what? I honestly believe, let me know in chat, and then we're going to kick off the normal routine here. Did daylight savings time break you? Hold on one second. Did daylight savings time break you? No, listen, when I say break you, I mean, not all the time zones in the world subscribe to daylight savings. So the switch on the show start time may have disrupted your routine. I know I've been dragging my butt. Not quite like a dog with worms, but, I've been dragging my butt, getting heavy into the coffee, face desking, if you will. Some of us starting new jobs and drinking from the fire hose. Holla, holla, holla. Hey, Phil Stafford. So let me just know how you guys feel. Guys, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, including this one, I don't research or prep for it. Do you know why?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. I don't have time for that. So we give you a raw, authentic look into the news. I give my opinions and thoughts in the moment. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't even know what the stories are, and that's okay. It's going to be epic. I do want to say a quick little shout out before we do anything else. For those who do not know, for those who know, I'm a regular coffee drinker. I've got a giant cup of coffee this morning. I do want to say shout out to Rick over at Firewall Coffee. They, I did the coffee experiment a couple weeks ago, 5 different kinds of coffee, 5 days in a row. I told him they were good. There was none that I was going to marry. And he's like, well, what about this? And he sent me like a very special single bean dark roast. He actually mocked it up with Simply Cyber branding. He put Crank Coffee on it, knowing about the Crank joke. So I'm drinking this today, and I'll let you know how it goes. Quick shout out to Chris Whitlock. It looks like the guy took the profile from the Discord server with that explosion. So Chris Whitlock making that happen. Let's go. I'll let you know how it goes. Guys, so happy to be here. Can't wait. I already feel the coffee starting to do its job. Now, I got a couple things to share with you before we get into it. Number one, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, including this one, is worth half a CPE. So Natalie Garrett, Mara Levy, Malware Trini, Kyle, Cyber Cycle, Ms. Julian, if you guys have cybersecurity certifications, you got to have CPEs. And I'm telling you, CPEs, they can be a bear to maintain. But Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief, this podcast right here, boom. Cheat code, if you will, for the CPEs. Just say what's up in chat like Carrie did, TG Artist. You can see right above my head. Code Brew, Jamie Jones, Tech Ricky, my man. Be clear. Just say what's up. Grab a screenshot before your name passes or say something else and then put your screenshot there. File the screenshots away. They have a timestamp on them so you know what day they came from. They're just evidence to support when you make your CPE declaration at the end of the year. You can earn up to 120 CPEs for the show. We only say half the CPE because we spend 30 minutes doing work, 30 minutes playing games and having fun, because this show is all about good times. Yep. All right. Now, before we get into it, let me say shout out and love to the stream sponsors. I'm gonna do a little sandwich here between real reads and video reads, but check this out. I want to say shout out and love to Antisyphon Training. Now, you can go to antisyphontraining.com, but what I want to share your attention with, I saw this on LinkedIn this morning. Antisyphon, powered by Black Hills Information Security, is running a one-day absolutely free Red Team Summit. So if you're an offensive security aspiring professional or you work on the offensive side, if you're a blue teamer and you want to learn more about the red side to get better at being defensive, or you're just cyber curious, this is an amazing opportunity and one not to miss. It's one day, March 19th, 11 to 4 p.m. So it's next Wednesday. They have a bunch of trainings. Now, the trainings are not free as far as I know, but dude, you can get 5 hours of committed, dedicated conference training, and it's all online. It's all free. I'm going to drop a link to it. If you have the day open, I would recommend at a minimum signing up for it and checking it out. Antisyphon puts great content on, great talks, etc. I love them. I've worked with them for years. I wouldn't do you dirty, okay? So check this out, Red Team Summit, Antisyphon. It's free, for crying out loud. Get some of that. All right, I also want to say shout out and love to the other stream sponsors like Flare. Let's do Flare really quick. Hey, when I come back, I'm going to tell the first timers in chat exactly what to do. I'll be chatting with everybody in group chat while the ad reads run. I'll be back in just a minute. What's up, Simply Cyber? You know what keeps CISOs up at night? The unknown. Those exposed assets and leaked creds floating around the dark web that you don't even know about? Well, that's where Flare steps in. Think of Flare as your organization's amazing threat hunting capability, continuously scanning both clear and dark web for exposed enterprise assets, leaked secrets, and even compromised credentials being sold in private channels. Their cutting-edge platform, powered by transparent, generative AI, prioritizes real threats so your team can take immediate action. Stop playing catch-up with threat actors. Get ahead with Flare's threat exposure management capability. Don't take my word for it. Visit try.flare.io/simplycyber and try it for yourself. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. I love it. I love it. I love how Chris Whitlock is like hard gas. He's like, daylight savings time, got nothing on me. I love it. Really quickly. Daylight savings time did not break most of the community. 60% of you saying it did not break you. I am broken. Dude, really quick, guys, Barricade Cyber. If you didn't know, a longtime sponsor, Eric Taylor, Chief Forensics Officer over at Barricade Cyber. I got two things to tell you about that. The first one is about them. Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Now, cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil. But Barricade Cyber Solutions, you know what? They know how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents. Definitely check them out at barricadecyber.com. You got the phone number right here. You got the ability to jump on Eric's calendar right here. Bookmark it at a minimum. I'm telling you, when you get punched in the mouth, if you haven't prepared or you don't have the skills, you're going to have an adrenaline dump and it's going to be a bad day for you. So have a trusted advisor in your corner, barricadecyber.com. I love it. All right, really quickly, y'all. Every single day of the week has a special segment. Hold on one second. Okay. Every single day of the week has a special segment, and Thursday is What's Your Meme Thursday. We have an absolute banger It does have to do with Eric Taylor. That's all I'm going to say is a little bit of a teaser. But let's sit back, relax. And if you're a first timer, if episode 833 is your first episode, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. We love welcoming our first timers. Squad members, you know what to do if you see a first timer. Just lay it on them. It's a fun, welcoming sound effect and emote, not a hazing ritual. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of us in an awesome wave. I'll see you guys at the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for March 13th, 2025. I'm Sarah Lane. Microsoft released patches for 57 security flaws, including 6 actively exploited 0 days affecting Windows kernel, NTFS, FAT file system, and Microsoft Management Console. Exploits involve use after free, integer overflow, and heap-based buffer overflow, with pipe magic malware used in targeted attacks. Threat actors can chain vulnerabilities to execute remote code via malicious VHD files. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, also known as CISA, has ordered federal agencies to apply fixes by April 1st.
All right. All right. So they're just talking about a bunch of bugs that have come out for, it looks like Microsoft Windows. They talk about chaining vulnerabilities together. Yeah, this is common. Like, guys, if you've ever done a CTF or try hack me room or a hack the box room, and you get an initial foothold, and then you move into the environment, and then you do privilege escalation. If you are exploiting vulnerabilities, you're chaining attacks together. Even if you're just like exploiting misconfigurations and stuff, you're still chaining attacks together. So don't think of chaining attacks as like some next level skill that you get to unlock when you reach like level 45 rogue mage or something like that. That's a Baldur's Gate, World of Warcraft, D&D reference. I think I did it wrong, but you picking up what I'm putting down. My point is anyone can, like, most people are chaining attacks together and just not calling it that. Okay. Now 57 security flaws. You know, it's Microsoft patches, so 57 is actually kind of light. Now they do say 6 are actively exploited. You know, that's definitely worth looking into. Microsoft Patch Tuesday. The artist formerly known as Casually Joseph knows this all too well. Guys, vulnerability management, there's a lot of opportunity for it, but it is brutal. You finish patching a bunch of vulnerabilities, and a dump truck full of more vulnerabilities comes back and unloads on you, and you rinse and repeat. A lot of apathy going on in the vulnerability management space. You do want to prioritize them, obviously. All I would say is the CVSS scores here are a good indication of how bad they are. 4.6, not really that bad. 7.8, a little bit worse. They go up to 10. Of course, I do like the EPSS scoring now. This is one of them, right? Just here really quickly. I always use this on stream now. djbsec.github.io, BSEC's website with a super useful EPSS tool. Whatever. The backdoor is named Pipe Magic. Casually Joseph made a very adult comment in mod chat. I will let him share that with others as needed. The vulnerability uses a use after free bug in a Windows 32 driver. Really quick, this is legit software exploitation, technical exploitation. Use after free, basically when operating systems are managing memory and, say you close an application or something like that, right? It's going to clear the memory and RAM to make it available for other programs to write to. Use after free is where you basically are clearing memory, but you still have a pointer into the memory so you can write to that memory space and know that it's not going to disrupt anything. So basically use after free means using memory space after it's been deallocated for whatever program or process was using it, and then executing your own shell code up in there like a devious threat actor. This looks like it's targeting Asia and Saudi Arabia. So, not to say that people in the United States, Canada, North America need to not worry about this, but it is interesting and worth noting out. A lot of different security researcher companies up in here. Oh my God. So, hold on. So this particular attack relies on the attacker crafting a malicious VHD file, which is basically a virtual hard disk. You do this with like virtual machines and hypervisors and stuff like that. So my Aunt Dorothea is not getting popped here, at least for whatever this one is. Unfortunately, this particular story, I don't research or prep these stories, so it's hard for me to do this on the fly. But there's like 6 different vulnerabilities here. Sometimes these news stories will just kind of like puke out a bunch of different information in order to get 1,000 words on the blog post. So just know this pipe magic is using named pipes, which you could see right here. And there you go. Named pipes. I'm not an expert on named pipes, but it's part of like the Windows file system for doing shares and stuff like that. Being able to write to different spaces. It's interesting. If you're looking to get a little bit deeper into the technical weeds here on software exploitation, this would be an interesting one to look at. I do want to point out this is a perfect example where having a bit more technical acumen does benefit you, even from a GRC perspective. When they're talking about named pipes, that's not malicious or good in any way. It's just a capability within the Windows operating system. And if you don't know what it is, all right, or you never heard of it before, it's difficult to assess the impact of exploitation of that or how it's being used. Obviously, if you're a SOC analyst, you want to be able to go threat hunting for named pipes and weird stuff like that. So this is one of those interesting articles worth checking out. Again, you can go, I'll drop a link to this story in chat if you'd like to explore it a little bit deeper yourself.
U.S. Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, is creating a national security council to strengthen U.S. defenses against Chinese cyber threats and technological competition. Led by Adam Chan, the council will focus on critical technologies like 5G, AI, satellites, and quantum computing, while addressing vulnerabilities in telecom networks and supply chains. An early priority is Salt Typhoon, a large-scale Chinese attack on U.S. telecoms. The move reflects a broader U.S. effort to counter China's influence in technology and national security.
Hold on, this particular article, like literally all I get is a headline. Again, I don't research or prep these, so let me give me a moment to actually do something useful with this. U.S. Communication Regulator Council, whatever. FCC, no. Oh my God. So the only link is to this particular story and the CISO story that's actually posting it. Hold on one second. Like this isn't, I can't do much with this. All right. So this is a hyper thin story. We actually do have a, Joseph, drop that story again. So I'll spend just a minute on this. Casually Joseph, as part of our business continuity plan, we've now begun, the mod team has begun scrubbing for stories that we can hot swap in real time. So basically, this one, when I read this, like, yeah, did you see? Here's my thoughts with this story, okay? Sure, let's have a council. But did you see the movie 300 where Leonidas, played by Gerard Butler, is like, all you do is sit around in meetings and talk, and the Persia's at our gates. We're gonna go fight, and like the 300 people go walk off, and all the senators are like, harumph, harumph. We're gonna keep talking. Like that's all I think about when I see this story. Like, dude, developing like other nations are moving at like lightning speed, developing new tech, right? Innovating the crap out of things. we're going to have a meeting about it. Like, again, I do think there's value in getting people together, getting aligned. Communication's vitally important, but let's see. I hope something goes well with this. Hot swap in the story. This one coming in hot from one Casually Joseph. AI-assisted fake GitHub repo fuels smart loader and Loomer Stealer distribution. In this particular story, Trend Research actually uncovered a campaign that uses fake GitHub repos to distribute smart loader, which is then used as an initial payload to deliver Loomer Stealer, which is a super popular, so hot right now.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Information stealer. Now, it's called smart loader, and you should remember smart loader because basically all it does is provide a install vehicle for any malware that threat actors want to use. Just Loomer Stealer seems to be the malware du jour. They disguise the malware as gaming cheats, crack software, etc. They're using AI to make the fake repositories look even more legitimate. So kind of leveraging AI to lend some legitimacy, some authority to the GitHub repos, making them look a little bit more robust and beefy. And the deal is, y'all, cracked game software, gaming cheats, system tools to deceive users. That's what's up. So, I mean, listen, if you are young, okay, I mean, it doesn't have to be exclusively young people, but typically young people have less financial capability and want to are playing more games. Okay, so I'm thinking of like my kids in here. You get a crack thing. You're playing DayZ on a super hard competitive server. You're competing in Fortnite. You want free V-Bucks. They come out with a new Snoop, skin or whatever. People will do these things, especially if you market it as, oh, this is like sweet, right? I just had a story from an adult. I was at soccer practice with my kids, and I was talking to another adult just 2 days ago, and he was telling me about how his kid, all his friends were convincing him to install some cracked version of a game. So, like, it's not just an individual finding it. It's other kids and other people telling others about installing it, and therefore giving even further legitimacy. So just be mindful of this. Obviously, this particular issue, and thank you, Casually Joseph, there's enough meat on this bone for me to get crazy. Here's the deal. Number one, educate your end users. AI is being used, but it's literally just being used to make it seem more real, more legitimate, okay? Educate your end users. So from a protection perspective, tell them, they should know this, but just, don't roll your eyes at them, but tell them, listen, crack software, game cheats, they're highly likely to be malware. If you're interested in losing all your money and getting screwed, I recommend you go check those out. But realistically, don't. Also educate your end users. Kids, here's a real benefit, right? You can obviously educate your end users, but maybe write an email and or a video or something like that, and explain to your end users in your community, or if you're trying to build a personal brand on social media, do this as a service. Okay, ready? Check this out. Be like, hey, listen, other people in my network or my users, your kids may be compromising your home network. Your kids may be ruining you. Your kids could lead to you losing money. Let me explain. And just say, hey, if your kids are downloading game cracks and stuff like that, they could be introducing malware into your home environment. Here's what you should do. Explain to your kids that game cheats and crack software are a scam, and that all they're going to do is lose their skins, lose their accounts, lose their V-Bucks. Okay, and I know it's a little bit of fear, uncertainty, and doubt here, but basically explain the impact to the end user so they can have the words to explain to their kids what to do. If you explain to the kid that they're going to lose all their skins, V-Bucks, whatever, they're not going to want to do it, no matter how appealing it is, because you've explained the risk to them. I'm telling you right now, Final thing, okay? You like obviously, oh, my kid got his computer compromised. What's the big deal? Listen, if your kid is using the same computer that you use for work, if your kid is on the same network segment, which is very, very likely in your home that you're using for work, if you're on a VPN, right? Like if you get malware on a computer in your network, it's not impossible for it to move laterally and get you, okay? Chances are you're not running EDR on your kid's machine. Chances are you might not be running EDR on your own personal machine that you also happen to use to log into work. Oh, I'm just doing some quick work on the weekend. No big deal. Don't ride dirty, okay? Don't ride dirty. These are the best practices. If it's too good to be true, it likely is. Luma Stealer, hyper effective. It's an info stealer. It'll steal your accounts. It'll steal your passwords from your browser. It'll set up in the middle. It'll rip off your if you're doing crypto, you can say goodbye to that.
Ukrainian official Serhiy Demediuk claims that Signal has stopped cooperating with Ukraine on Russian cyber threats, which has helped Moscow's intelligence operations. Russian attackers have been said to be exploiting Signal for phishing and account takeovers. Demediuk says the shift may be tied to U.S. political instability and warned that it threatens Ukraine's security.
Okay. Okay. First of all, this coffee is good. Okay, I'm just gonna say that right now. I just had like a wonderful dark, like toffee nutty flavor roll over my tongue, and it was something. Pepperidge Farm remembers. That one's gonna linger on my palate for a minute here. Okay, so Signal's wicked awesome. Signal is used for very secure communications. Now, Signal is no longer cooperating with Ukraine. Okay, let's see what's going on with that. Signal definitely isn't like trying to like upcharge NATO and Ukraine and saying like, oh, we need another couple $1 million or we're not playing. Let's see what's up. Now, obviously, the story is spinning that Signal is no longer replying to Ukraine requests from Ukrainian law enforcement, and the impact is it's aiding Moscow's intelligence. So now, like, Signal is being painted as a bad guy. Okay, there's got to be a reason here. Signal remains one of the most exploited messaging apps. That's an interesting word choice. I don't hear a lot of technical exploitation. Signal remains one of the most used messaging apps for Russian espionage. Might be a better word choice there, just saying. And now they're painting Signal as like a pro-Russia solution here. They're a nonprofit company, okay? Let's see. Hold on, I'm seeing what's going on. Like, there's got to be a reason here, okay? Let's see. All right, so Russia's targeting Signal accounts. Obviously, if Russia gets in and compromises a Signal account, then, you know, they can pretend to be secure messaging as somebody and it's not. Yeah, so basically, the idea here is that threat actors are able to compromise Signal accounts. Here's my thing. Whether it's Signal, Telegram, WhatsApp, iMessage, Fubar, Facebook Messenger, right? Obviously, Signal is more secure, but every side is using it. I'm sure Ukraine's using it to securely communicate as well. There's an opportunity here for Ukraine to do GRC. Oh, GRC Mafia has entered the chat. To educate end users to not fall for phishes, to not give up their creds, to be on the lookout for Signal account compromise. Let's see. U.S. Cyber Command halted the planning of offensive cyber ops against Russia. Trump ordered a suspension of intel sharing with Ukraine. Okay. All right. So this is, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot. This is an apolitical show, so we're not going to talk about United States and Russia relationships in the last 90 days and how those have changed. Here's the idea, guys. Okay, Signal's a company. Okay, Signal's not a country. Signal doesn't have a requirement to comply with anyone. Now, whether or not it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, I'm not here to say. I'm just saying, if they're stopped responding to Ukrainian law enforcement, I have to assume there's a reason. It could be just by the sheer volume of requests, right? Maybe Ukraine is sending them 300, 400 requests a day for, account compromises or account whatever. Maybe Signal doesn't have the bandwidth to take on those requests. It's a nonprofit company. It's possible that law enforcement is exploiting the relationship they have with Signal in order to take over accounts that are not related to Russian cyber threats, right? We've seen law enforcement erode away as far as the scope of their requests or whatever. Again, I don't know one way or the other. I also will say really quick, and this is not a dig. This is not. So I'm about to say something about Elon. Okay, so please, this has nothing to do with Elon and Doge and anything like that. But I do want to point out that maybe a year into the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, if you don't remember, at the beginning of the conflict, Russia did an denial of service attack on Ukraine's internet infrastructure, and Ukraine was having like really dodgy internet and everything like that. And Elon, who owns Starlink, routed Starlink satellites all over the place, and then Ukraine had Starlink internet service, and everybody was like hunky-dory, right? And then, like maybe, I don't know, 6 months, 12 months later, there were requests to like do more with Starlink, and Elon said, nope, we're not going to do that, withheld Starlink. So again, I'm not getting political. This isn't about whether it was a good decision or a bad decision. This isn't about whether or not this would have escalated the war in with regards to Crimea and stuff like that. My point is, Starlink's a private company. Signal's a private company, right? You can't, like, just because there's right and wrong, and there's beliefs in what is right and what is wrong, and it's very gray, murky water, right? And it depends, one person's patriots, another person's terrorist or whatever. So my point is, you can't just paint with broad brushstrokes here. I don't know why Signal did this. I like Signal as a company. Wade Wells actually pointed out, Signal's president did a great talk at South by Southwest. If you're interested, here we are.
Wow, here we are.
I'm going to drop a link to this. I haven't watched this in its entirety. Wade Wells told me about this, but this is apparently a very awesome talk. So South by Southwest talk by Signal president. Here's my thing. My final thought on this one is like, there's definitely more to this story than, what meets the eye, okay?
Sweden's security police, or SAPO, warned that the country's security situation is serious and could worsen due to hybrid threats from foreign powers like Russia, China, and Iran. These threats include cyber attacks, espionage, and destabilization efforts targeting Sweden and Europe. SAPO's head, Charlotte von Essen, emphasized the unpredictability of future risks.
All right, hold on. I was trying to see if Hot Soup says Meredith Whittaker is dope AF. So there you go. Okay, so let me look at this really quickly. Linux Foundation, latest partnership could shake up open source. Okay, here we go. Wow, okay, so we've got two open source Goliaths Engaging. Now, I've heard of the Linux Foundation, by the way. I have never heard of the Open Infrastructure Foundation, which is wild because they're one of the biggest ones also. Guys, whatever, right? It mergers and acquisitions. It's very, very hot right now, okay?
That Hansel's so hot right now.
And if you are a fan, if you're a fan of American Psycho, you definitely just said murders and executions in your mind. So OpenStack is from the open source cloud. Okay. I don't know much about, I can't really comment about this. I guess what I would say is with something like this joining forces, the question becomes, what's the long-term play, right? It's open source. So what's the business model behind this, right? Usually open source is free, but the services, is where people make money, right? If you look at like Zeek and then Core Light as an example, Security Onion's free, but there's definitely a service behind them that is a business. I'm just gonna skip. I don't really have much to say about this. If you're in chat and you have something to say about this, please share it in chat. But to me, this is like, okay, two open source groups are emerging. Okay. Like this doesn't impact me at all.
Thanks to today's episode sponsor, Vonta. Do you know the status of your compliance?
Hold on. Angular says that this means the Linux code base is going to go private. Hold on 1 second. The word closed is not in here. Let me see. The word private is not in here. The greatest... Yeah, no. This actually seems like the whole idea behind this is to ensure that specifically AI development is not siloed by private sector companies and innovation can thrive in open ecosystems.
Controls, like right this second. We know that real-time visibility is critical for security, but when it comes to our GRC programs, we rely on point-in-time checks. But more than 9,000 companies have continuous visibility into their controls with Vonta. Vonta brings automation to evidence collection over 35 frameworks like SOC2 and ISO 27001. They also centralize key workflows like policies, access reviews, and reporting, and help you get security questionnaires done 5 times faster with AI. Now that's a new way to GRC. Get started at vonta.com/headlines.
Hey, 1 second, really quick. First of all, Tech Ricky, I love the reference. I honestly do feel like American Psycho is like a sleepy cult thing that a lot of people in cybersecurity love. I have seen American Psycho so many times. It's a dark comedy. I'm not recommending you go watch it. It's definitely not for everybody. But yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, 5 times faster with AI. Mm-hmm. All right, let's do this really quickly. And then also, I hate to do this like live in chat. Chris Whitlock or Casually Joseph or Justin Gold. It used to be when I clicked on a GIF in Discord, there would be a button to open in a browser. And now I don't get that. Is that like a new feature or something? I like have to save it locally and then upload it. I used to have the little I could just pull it up as a browser tab. All right, here we go. You know what? Heber Morera, American Psycho sound effects for the pod. You know what? I like it. Judges? I guess. We'll definitely do that. Oh my God, hold on. Okay, guys, all right, so I'm getting multiple answers in mod chat on how to do this. I definitely want to put American Psycho references. Actually, I'm going to do a quick poll. Start a poll. Do you like American Psycho? I'm just kind of curious what the vibe is for the community here. If the answer is not yes, then it's no. It doesn't mean you don't like American Psycho. It just means that you don't identify as like an American Psycho. Shout out to the stream sponsors, Barricade Cyber, Antisyphon, Flare, and ThreatLocker. Definitely appreciate it. Guys, I want to tell you, every single day of the week has a special segment. Oh, hold on one second. Chris Whitlock. Yes, Chris Whitlock. Yes, okay. All right. Oh, my God. When old people try to Discord, right? Am I right? Okay, so check it out, guys. Every single day of the week has a special segment. And today is Thursday, which means it's What's Your Meme Thursday, presented by Dan Reardon. This guy right here, the haircut fish, he has been doing custom memes for our community for over 2 years. He's friggin' awesome. And today is special. Now, if you're a first timer today, this is going to be scary to you. But if you're a long timer, you know what's up. So recently, last week on Friday, Daniel Lowry from Antisyphon, Daniel Lowry from Daniel Lowry in Real Life, great guy. He put the connection together and he said, Eric Taylor Swift. Eric Taylor Swift. Now, if you know Eric, he is not Taylor Swift, okay? But today, Dan Reardon has been called down and has delivered. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to deliver you your meme of the week. Eric Taylor Swift. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you for the Errors Tour, the ERRORS Tour, Errors Tour, Eric Taylor Swift. Let's go. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Eric Taylor Swift. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get our la-la-las on as a community. Alpha Sierra, lead us off. I'll just let this simmer right here. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Woo! That was good. That was good. Looks like American Psycho, 68% of the community's into it. Let's go. My God, that was just delightful. Thank you very much. Let's get back to the news. Also, I want to point out really, really quickly, specifically talking to Justin Gold, potentially Casually Joseph. You may notice the format of this is in a vertical 9x16. Would be perfect for somebody's phone wallpaper. Not saying you might get physical access to Eric Taylor's phone, but if you did, this would be one hell of a prank.
The Linux Foundation and Open Infra Foundation have announced a merger, with Open Infra joining as a member foundation.
Whoops.
The partnership unites their ecosystems to strengthen open source solutions.
Didn't they just do this story? Like literally just do this before the break?
Particularly in data centers and infrastructure. Open Infra was previously the OpenStack Foundation and oversees projects like Kubernetes and PyTorch, while leveraging the Linux Foundation's governance.
All right, let's keep going.
Security firm Dragos published a case study revealing that the Chinese hacker group Volt Typhoon infiltrated the U.S. electric grid through a breach at Littleton Electric Light and Water Departments in Massachusetts. The hackers had access to the utilities network for over 300 days, collecting sensitive operational technology or OT data, including information on energy grid operations. This data could be used for future targeted attacks. Volt Typhoon, linked to the Chinese government, has been previously associated with espionage and attacks on U.S. critical infrastructure.
Okay. Hey, as somebody who's from Massachusetts-ish, Littleton and Boxborough, not big towns. Okay, this isn't your Lowell. This isn't your Lynn. We're not up in Everett here. We're not in roast beef country. This is kind of like mid-state, above Worcester, $1.25, Paul. So thank you for allowing me all of those references. So I mean, you're still in like Red Sox country, but you're much more you're getting closer to granola living than you are Dunkin' Donuts trades. Okay, so check it out. Dragos, if you didn't know, Dragos is like the bell of the ball when it comes to ICS, OT, cybersecurity. They're kind of like Mandiant in that way. Mandiant was acquired by Google, but like when there was like a high profile cyber tech, Mandiant always got called in. When there's a high profile OT, ICS incident, Dragos is typically called in. I don't know, like Rob Lee runs them. I don't know if Leslie Carhart is still there. Let me see if she's still there. Leslie Carhart, she keynoted Wild West Hackin' Fest a couple years ago. She's definitely an awesome cybersecurity professional. Yeah, she's still at Dragos. You could see 7 years. Technical director, industrial incident response. So Dragos is what's up. If you're interested in OT ICS, what I will say is, yes, this story is about Volt Typhoon, which is a Chinese-based sophisticated advanced threat actor that attacked a small public power utility company in Massachusetts. But the TLDR here is that this is a published case study that Dragos has put together, which is awesome because it's going to show you the full scope of the attack, how it went down. They did collect sensitive OT information. So to me, like, this is a great orientation, if you will, into understanding OT, ICS, cybersecurity. I'm trying to figure out. There's got to be some type of link here. Oh, here it is. Yes, here we are. This is the case study. Again, as somebody who's like super big on personal branding and building a network and stuff like that, this case study, which I will drop a link in chat. Here we go. Copy link. ICS OT case study. Hold on, Cyber Ninja. Your message got retracted, I think, because you put a link. Cyber Ninja, if you can, go to the Discord server. Hold on one second. Discord, and then at Cyber Ninja, right? Cyber Ninja, look right below at the Discord Nightbot link. Go to Discord, and then in general chat, at me, at Gerald Auger, PhD, and I will put that job posting on stream. Or mods, can you check to make sure it's probably not a like a link to an OnlyFans page to punk me on stream, but anyways, I'll bring it up. Okay, so here's the deal. This is a nice little encapsulation. Think of this as like an opportunity to like have a curated webinar or lecture on learning about ICS OT attacks. Dragos does a great job. You could see this is a little bit of marketing, right? Choose Dragos. Okay, whatever. But here we go. This is where it gets into the actual attack. They show, there's a little bit of graphics here. Oh my God, this is like almost fully marketing, actually. Oh. You know what? This isn't too bad. I mean, I guess, hey, really quickly, this is worth looking at, but unfortunately, this looks like more of a marketing slick sheet than anything. Like, just looking at this quickly, just a quick skim, it doesn't go very deep in value. It's like why they chose Dragos. Like, here's Dragos's background on why they're awesome, and then challenges before deploying Dragos. Like, what happens if you don't have it? This is that's too bad. All right, I'll just keep going. Hey, really quickly, if you are interested, really quickly, I'm super, super happy to share that if you didn't know, we actually have a pod on the Simply Cyber YouTube channel that's absolutely free for everybody to enjoy called Simply ICS Cyber. And this is Don Weber and this is Tom Van Norman. These guys have decades of experience in ICS and OT. So like if you're looking to learn more, we have an entire program dedicated to it on Simply Cyber. They're in season 1, episode 3. It's every other Wednesday. OT, operational technology, is a very different world than IT. It's very specialized. But usually you fall into it. We're trying to break that mantra by giving you access to experts. Definitely check this out if you're interested in learning about OTICS. Yes.
Israeli startup Sola raised $30 million in seed funding to launch a low, no-code platform for building customized cybersecurity apps. Sola is meant to simplify security management for organizations with limited technical teams and let users create tailored security solutions without extensive coding. The platform integrates with existing security tools and works with AI and big data to streamline operations. Finally today.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. This seems we'll let it breathe, but this is weird. Okay. So this company, Sola, is Israeli based. So right off the rip, Israeli does make really great cybersecurity software. So it does warrant attention. But what they're allowing you to do is quickly whip up almost like no-code security solutions that will use AI to integrate with your existing tech and security stacks. Like low-code, no-code platform to let users design their own cybersecurity apps. Here's the deal. Like, I'm all for this if you know what you're doing, but if you're reducing the barrier to entry for people making security software by pointing and clicking, there seems to be an opportunity for gross exposure. Okay, like to me, I don't know. Like, again, I don't research or prep for these shows, but it definitely seems like you're adding a layer of abstraction between security down here and like how your security tooling and your IT infrastructure operate. Usually you can configure security on your IT and it's like this, but now it's like you're configuring and doing things that's interacting with some type of no-code solution you created that's actually doing your security. So there's a bit of obfuscation from the actual team itself. They got $30 million, so there must be something to it. This is definitely one that I need to do more research on. But this sounds interesting in that it's hard. We'll see. We'll see, man. Let's see. The guy who was one of the co-founders had a company that he created called Cider Security that Palo Alto acquired for $300 million. So the guy who's behind this company has experience in the tech space around tech startups and building companies and selling them. I guess what they're saying is their solution here is that you can buy a commercial solution off the shelf, typically very complicated, probably more features than you need, or you can build your own custom solution that does only what you need. This is actually, honestly, this is a complaint that a lot of people have in industry. If you haven't been paying attention, what ends up happening is like XDR is like super hot right now.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
And the idea behind XDR is like these large companies, Cisco, Palo Alto, Microsoft, they're acquiring other companies like SIM, MDR, not MDR, excuse me, SIM, MFA, identity governance, EDR, and like they're bundling it as an entire solution, right? So you get one company and you get this big fat contract. Well, a lot of times CIOs and CISOs end up signing up for like these large solutions, and all they really need is like EDR, but they end up getting all these other things that they don't really need. And you end up in a solution where it does a lot of things well, but it doesn't do anything really good. Like it does a lot of things okay, it doesn't do anything well, right? You see this a lot with productivity solutions like Notion or ClickUp or any of these solutions where like you just need it to do one thing, and then all of a sudden it can do project management and task management and messaging and calendaring and communication, and it does a million things, and like you're like, oh Jesus, I just wanted it to take notes. So we'll see. The idea here is that it's leaner, but honestly, guys, to me, this is kind of a paradigm shift. Using an existing paradigm of no-code workflow solutions, but in order to deliver security solutions. So stay tuned for this. This could be disruptive in our space.
Mark Klein, the former AT&T technician who exposed a secret NSA surveillance program, has died. Klein revealed that the NSA had installed a secret room at AT&T's San Francisco office where internet data was copied and routed to the government. In 2026, he brought over 100 pages of evidence to the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which led to lawsuits against the NSA and increased public awareness of mass surveillance. Despite threats from AT&T, Klein stood by his claims, inspiring reforms and greater scrutiny of government spying. We've never...
All right. You know what's messed up? Like, I forgot about this. I forgot about this story. I'm not going to get big into like conspiracies or Snowden or anything, but like literally the NSA had a room where they were basically just siphoning off all the data, and a whistleblower came forward at great risk to himself to expose a massive spying program on U.S. citizens. Okay. So, you know, really quickly, if you think tools like Pegasus and, you know, etc., are not being used for control, again, this isn't like a conspiracy theory show or a QAnon thing or whatever. Just like I deal in objective evidence. Okay. This guy found a room that he was asked to roll cable basically to split and basically like span port all data coming in to another room. Okay, so it could be analyzed. I don't know what came of it, honestly, but awareness is the first step, right? But don't worry. A law was passed to authorize the continued surveillance that was being done by them. Now, this is supposed to go through 2026, and we'll revisit. Oh, this was Prism. So interesting. Okay, so actually, this is very related to the same programs that Edward Snowden revealed. Now, hey, really quickly, if you're, I'm not even going to get into it. He died. I don't, you know, I'm sure he looks like he was a bit older. So,
had a cybersecurity talent shortage. Turns out we're being sold that story from certification vendors and companies not wanting to pay for talented security professionals.
What are we doing?
We believe there's a shortage because
All right, I don't think that's a news story. Also, there was a news story here about Sweden's security situation getting worse that the reporter just skipped. I don't know why. She actually read she read this open source foundation one twice and then skipped the Swedish one here. But we got 1 minute, so I'll just tell you for your own situational awareness. Sweden's security situation could get worse. Let's see what their situation is. What's the can I do chat GPT, please? Here we go. Stand by. Here we go. All right, so Sweden did an annual report and it says that foreign powers are using hybrid activities on them. It looks like Russia, China, Iran. Okay, so NATO versus BRICS. This is okay, so maybe that's why she skipped the story. The story looks like it has no meat to it. This story right here, if you're looking for an example of a nothing burger, hold the fries. This is one of those. All right, we are at time. Today is Thursday. All right, guys, let's get into it now. Really quickly, Eric Taylor is, or DJ BSEC does jaw jacking on Thursdays, but he's been MIA. I think he's dealing with a lot of heads down work right now, as there's some transitions at his work. So he's out. Last Thursday, Casually Joseph manned the helm, but he's also starting a new job, so no expectations or guarantees of that. The good news is, Citadel's on spring break. Whee! Like, which basically means I just work more, not just at the Citadel. So we'll do that. Guys, just so everybody knows, today is Thursday, March 13th, which means only one thing. It is Simply Cyber Firesides. And Brandon Stevens, guys, basically, if you want to know what cybersecurity sales is, Brandon Stevens can help you. TLDR. So if you want to know what working in sales is like, come on down. We can giddy up on that. Looks like we've got a volunteer for jaw jacking, Josh Mason. If he'd like to come on, we can have him take it. I do like to mix it up, guys. Deb and Grady, have a good one. I also want to let everyone know a couple other things. Okay, really quickly. Number one, hold on. I'm going to pivot to jaw jacking. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Thank you all so very much. I hope you can come back at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time for the Simply Cyber Firesides. Let's get to jaw jacking. I got a couple updates. Let's go. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jaw Jacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some jaw jacking. Hello? Hello? There we go. Is that better? It looks like I just had to turn it off and on again. Is that it? I got to tell you guys. You know what? Like the Go XLR is good, but it can be bad. Let me know if you can hear me in chat now. Think we're good. All right, cool. Hey, so just a couple things. Number one, drinking this coffee. This coffee's good. I do like this coffee. This could be something. Number two, if you didn't know, okay, Recca Comics is actually giving away. This is a hard book cover. These are 2 comics. The future is this is a limited run first edition comic series by Recca Comics. And we at Simply Cyber are giving away 5 packages. So 15 total books. You and 4 other people can win all 3 of these. So like this is package 1, package 2, package 3, package 4. And all you have to do to enter, it's absolutely free, is go to the Discord server, go to the Socials Intros channel, and put in hashtag giveaway. You should introduce yourself also. And let me just show something, because I do want to share something. And then Josh Mason's in the green room, so we can get him on to answer your questions. I just want to share something with you, because if you are hey Angular, I see your question. We're going to start flagging those. I just want to share something with everybody, because this is like one of those things that hurt my feelings, and it just is what it is. If you're a content creator, you can absolutely get behind this, okay? I made a video, okay? Nice. The pain with the blue badge. Listen, I run the PBCC course, content creator. I made this video, okay? It had -1 subscribers for a minute. Only 416, really low. This video right here, I used every Gen Z viral short video technique I had. And basically, Mrs. Auger told me that it was too much. Also, she said that it's like I'm using trends that are 5 years old. So, anyways, this video right here will show you how to enter the contest, okay? I thought this thing was really cool. Anyways, I'm just asking you, enter the contest if you want to win. Where is it? If you want to win these 3 comics, enter the contest. We're drawing it tomorrow live at 9 a.m. Eastern time. 9 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, okay? Enter. I want you to win this, okay? It's as simple as that. All right, guys. We got Josh Mason in chat. Let's bring him in really quickly. Turn my music off. Oh, no. FedEx says cringe. Okay. What's up, Josh Mason?
Hey, man.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thanks for being available for some jaw jacking, bro.
Totally.
All right. I will query up some questions for you. I'll do a little ADHD. It's the Socials Intro channel on the Discord server. I'll also pin a chat right here on the server chat so you can. Okay, cool. All right. Hey, I leave you in the very capable hands of one Josh Mason. Josh has the con. If you have questions, Josh has got answers. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber.
Oh, you're out. Are you okay? Apparently, I've got the con. Unfortunately, I'm not in the seat where I can just pull up questions. So
yeah, I'm going to pull them up for you. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, well, excellent. Sweet. So you just disappeared, but you're going to pop stuff up for me. Yeah. Drop a question up there. For those who don't know me, I'm Josh Mason. I've been around. How much is the content creator program? Someone wants it. It is by cohort. And
you're talking about PBCC?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. think I
Yeah,
just saw that one.
I'll have to look. It's PBCC. It's by cohort. I want to say it's $199, and you get a 4-day, 16-hour course, and you get either 4 to 6 months of access to an asynchronous version, all the resources associated with that. We've had a lot of great experience. In fact, the reason I make it available in cohort format only is because the cohort format is substantially better for student outcomes. So we do it that way. Angular had a question in here about the Linux Foundation and the open source stuff. Hold on 1 second.
I've heard good things about the Linux Foundation courses, but Josh is like, well, you can make the content creator free. I cannot, unfortunately. Jerry's got to get paid for his work.
Yeah, and I mean,
I don't know about...
just so everybody knows, I do plan on doing like a 1-hour webinar that will go deep on that stuff in May. So you can get tons of value in understanding from that as well. All right, please keep going.
And I'll back Jerry up. He has been given a lot away for free for years, and he's going to continue to do it, and that's what Simply Cyber is about. But some things, well, the market requires, and his ability to pay his family requires that he does a little bit of capitalism here and there.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I basically take 4 days off to teach the course, so there's that.
Not nothing.
Let's see.
Linux Foundation. I don't see it on job recs very often, but if you want to learn Linux, going to the Linux Foundation's one of the better places to do it. I recommend just getting yourself a virtual machine of Ubuntu. Go and learn. Man, I used to have a link to what all the directory breakdowns for Linux were and why they were the way that they are. It's fairly straightforward. Binaries are in bin. Root stuff is in root. User stuff is in user. And once you understand how Linux works, it's really straightforward. And then, except for if you need to install drivers, that's never straightforward.
What's your deal? I don't even know how to answer that question.
How you doing, Zima? Hey, sorry, it's been a while.
Yosef says, where's the link to the content creator? I'll make it like there'll be a big push. I don't want anyone to register for it until May, because when you register for it, that countdown on how long you have access to the class starts. And I don't want anyone, I don't want you to I want you to get the maximum value. So I don't want you to accidentally sign up for it early.
It's not, don't go sign up for it right now.
Yeah.
Because the cohort meeting, the 4 days is a big, you need that as the kickoff. Yeah.
Bilbo's talking nice about it. Bilbo's actually gone through it twice. My man, Bilbo. Also worth noting, when you go through it a couple times, it gets more value. Here we go. Any chip? Kyle's got a question for you, Josh.
Yeah. Shadow IT, people setting up their own switches and Wi-Fi, masking MAC addresses and dual NICs, quash it. If you make sure you've got policy around it, because you can't just do things if you don't have policy. You can't really enforce things if you don't have a reason, like something to enforce. So start there, get a policy about shadow IT, and then start enforcing it. How to find it? Look, especially if it's Wi-Fi, start looking for other SSIDs around the workspace. If it's a switch, that's not coming from your ISP. I'm not sure how that would spin up. A lot of shadow IT I'm used to seeing nowadays is in the form of using SaaS products that other people that aren't part of what the company uses.
Code Brew wants to go scorched earth.
For example, if you're a Microsoft shop, a 365 shop, and everyone is sharing things on Google Drive or Dropbox, then there are controls you can put in place at the DNS and proxy level to block those if it's an issue.
Dennis Keefe says, I'm sure phone screens with recruiters are different than interviews. What questions would you recommend asking the recruiter?
Oh yeah, this is good. And a few of our friends, few of my friends, even like I saw Pat Gorman apply to Synac, and I put him through the review process. So then now I get updates on where he is in the process. And Mike Black's another. Sorry, I keep looking at chat. That's the problem. If the recruiter is initially just going to make sure that you've got the baseline, you understand what the job is, that you're personable. Often it's someone who, if it's an internal recruiter, it's going to be someone from HR who wants to make sure that you're not going to get fired soon, that you're not going to leave soon. They want to make sure that it's worth taking you through the rest of the process. Make sure to them that you seem like a good fit. If it's asking for, if they're looking for a senior vice president and you're right out of college, yeah, they might want to talk to you before saying no or yes and passing it on to someone else. A good company is going to have several interviews and a fairly thorough vetting process, because you want to hire slow, fire fast.
Also want to point out, don't think transactionally, right? So, I mean, some recruiters can be peckerheads, but some are awesome, right? Joe Hudson was a recruiter, awesome guy. He and I talked when we first met. He put me on to a job opportunity. It didn't work out. I didn't treat him like a used Twinkie wrapper and like threw him away because I didn't need him anymore. Recruiters like develop relationships. They know about opportunities. It might not be a good fit this time, but maybe, you're a good fit next time. Or maybe they come to you and say, hey, Jerry, I know that you worked at MUSC. Like, I know you're not looking for a job right now, but we're looking for someone with some healthcare experience. Do you know someone, right? That's called networking and relationship building. So don't think that don't treat this recruiter call. And I'm pointing to Elliot. Elliot dropped a comment too. For anyone, Dennis or anyone else, don't treat a recruiter call as transactional where like, what can you do for me?
Yeah. And external recruiters look at it as another opportunity to meet someone who, what their job is to meet people. They might not have something for you now. They might have something for you in the future. Getting to know recruiters. There's plenty of recruiters that I've got relationships with that they now come to me and say, hey, do you know someone who'd be a good fit for this? Do you, I have this person, do you know of an opening? And I've been able to find them people, and I've been able to point them in openings and companies that might be hiring, so then they can get good people in jobs too. So every relationship is an opportunity, and treat it like something you want to keep.
We got a case study here. Elliot Mattis says he got a second interview for a job because the recruiter reached out to me 11 months after our first conversation. So there you go. Again, I know it sounds trivial, and unless you've actually first person experienced it, it sounds like poppycock, but like you never know who is watching. And I'm not saying be fraudulent, but just choose kindness, choose goodness, and it will pay dividends long term. I promise you.
It is. Yeah. It's one of those crazy things where you don't need to actively try to gain something from a system, but the simple act of being friendly and kind and trying to help people will bring so much back. Whether you consider it karma, whether you consider it grace, whether you consider it just like it works.
We got a question from Shubham Khanna. He's a developer. He wants to get into cyber. He's got some certs. What do you think?
I don't know. Do you know anyone who's gone from being a developer to being in cyber?
Yep. So I went from being a developer to cyber back in like the early 2000s, Shubham. So you got a leg up as a developer. You can understand stuff. You can do a bunch of different things. You can get into app security, depending on what your development skill is in, right? I mean, you can be like a object-oriented programmer, or you could be like a React, Java, web app dev.
And
So
there's
what
plenty that doesn't need to be tied to what you've done before. But if you've done any sort of job, you've got experience in having a mindset. And so if you wanted to get into the defensive side, you could probably get into forensics pretty well because you know what code ends up looking like. You could get into detection engineering fairly well because you can write some detections based off of code that's been built. You could get into offensive or pen testing because you know how to work with apps and how to try to find ways to break them. But
yeah, 100%. I mean, what's his name? Tim Tomes, Landmaster 53 out of South Carolina. He's a developer first and a cyber pro second. And he's excellent. Dude, you'd be great if you want to get into offensive web application security. Again, if that's where you did the development, you're going to understand where like the gaps are, the cracks are, and how to exploit them. So definitely lean into that if you want. I want to share something really quickly on stream. This was Cyber Ninja's job that he was sharing. Let me go ahead and share this really quickly. It's a job opportunity for people. I'm going to go ahead and take full stage really quick. Josh, your mic's still hot. This is Manager IT Cyber and Compliance. It is hybrid or remote. I noticed the key logical operator or here. Looks like, ideal candidate will have extensive experience working with federal agencies. All right. So if you're interested, I got to tell you two things. One, it makes 120 to 160K a year. I don't know, what all the job entails or this company, but it is a remote opportunity. Looks like they want 10 years of experience. So we're looking at mid to senior level work practitioner. So job op, here we go. I'm looking at you, whatever, Alana Boyajian or others. One thing I will say about this, and again, not to poo-poo this, okay?
It looks pretty good.
It does look good, but I want to make everybody very aware of something that I see as a risk, okay? So this job, the very first thing it says is extensive experience working with federal agencies. So if this is a cybersecurity consulting gig, right? So here's my thing, really quickly. CMMC is going to explode. CMMC is going to have a huge demand for GRC professionals, for security readiness, and for audit and assessment. Now, in the current political climate, where there are massive chainsaws being taken to different programs, it is not unreasonable to predict that CMMC could become a victim of this these swift changes being made. If that's the case, all of this is going to go away. The funding for this job probably comes from government contracts. If government contracts are not being handed out anymore because of reasons, then this job is not going to be funded. And I just want to be crystal clear because I personally have worked for many years in federal IT as a consultant. And the reason I left Booz Allen to go to MUSC, a private sector government company. I mean, it's not private sector. It's like a mixed hybrid, whatever. But it was because I was having anxiety about contract recompetes. We were on a 5-year contract. The contract was coming up for renewal. It was September 1st was the new contract. It was like August 17th. They still hadn't announced. So I was 1 week away from finding out whether or not I was about to get fired. Consulting firms won't tell you they'll fire you. You get to be on the bench, but in reality, you're pure overhead. You are not making them money, and they will fire you in a heartbeat. Okay, so
being on a contract like that, it can be hard. My role, solutions architect on the federal team, is literally selling to the Fed government. So I've got a call in an hour with State Department, and it is a big worry right now that funding is going it's obvious that funding is on hold right now until this CR or funding budget act actually passes, no one wants to spend anything, and that one's hard. I don't know that CMMC is going to go away, because that's just a rule that goes along with FAR AIM and has like the label of CMMC, but that's been a requirement for a long time. 800 171. So that's not necessarily going to change. And I think QE and like how all the compliance around it is going to work is not going to change. So I think there's still work there. One of the things I've seen with a lot of the GS probation level folks, which probation doesn't mean like, it's not like criminal probation or like where you get in trouble and you're on probation. Any GS government service job, the first year that you're in that job, even if like you've been in government service for 25 years and you just promoted into a new role, now you're in probationary status in that. The difference being when you're off probation, it is nigh impossible to fire you. I had a GS worker who was working for me when I was in the military. I was his boss. Yeah, he was doing a lot of stuff that was wrong and making a lot of really bad comments, treating people poorly in the office, and like not doing very good work. I had to make a case to give him a 3 out of 5 on his rating scale because I couldn't give him less than that. I couldn't actually, like, a 3 meant meets standards. And in the eyes of like everyone else, everyone knows it's bad, but it doesn't actually like hurt him. It just takes away 2 of his bonus days of leave that year. Which he did cry in my office, but we had a heart to heart after that. And it's really, really hard to get rid of people. My wife did an investigation for a commander on one of the GS workers who was doing stuff that was more than just being a bad employee. It might have been illegal, like sexual harassment sort of stuff. And right when she was about to turn in the report for the investigation, the guy moved jobs. He moved to another base, was no longer under this commander, and that report went nowhere. And it was not enforceable at all. So like so probationary status is an easy one. Anyone can get just like removed, as we've seen, when they're on probationary status. And that's why it exists. For those who are curious what all that meant when they've been watching the news. But one of the things I've noticed with Manning going down and a return to office being mandated across the government, like I just talked to my neighbor because I live in the DMV area. He has to go back into the office starting Monday, and no one that he works with is in his office because he works at Medicaid, and he does a lot of stuff with Florida and Georgia, and his boss is actually down there. So he's going to an office where no one that he talks to on a regular basis will be there, but he can't do it from home anymore because of the rules. So a lot of folks that he works with, a lot of his upper management have retired. They've been like, I don't want to go back into the office. I've enjoyed the past 4 years of being at home, and I'm at retirement age. I'm just going to leave. What that's going to do, I think, is leave a gap. So if you are interested in if you are in the contracting world, money's going to come back and things are going to need to be done. And hiring GS takes a long time, but buying a service or a contract takes less, especially if a vehicle is already in place. And that's a whole nother discussion about how funding vehicles work. But if something is already in place and you already have a contract, adding bodies to that's not hard. And so
All right.
Slow right now, but I think selling to the federal government soon is gonna.
All right, and you can reach out to Cyber Ninja on the Discord server. He's offered to provide more information for folks in there. We're almost done with the jaw jacking. I do want to leave one more piece of information for everybody that I saw in a video this morning, and I thought it was pretty savvy. I don't have enough evidence to support whether or not this is a good idea or not, but anecdotally in my mind, I think it's a good idea. If you are updating your resume, you know how you have, most people have like skills and there's like Linux or Kali or not Bug Bounty, Burp Suite or something like that. If you are doing anything with AI, I don't care what it is, you should definitely include like an AI skills section and capture what it is there. AI is so flippin' hot right now.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
That
True.
But by putting that you have AI skills in, you are definitely going to get people thirsty. Okay. Like, especially older, I hate to be an ageist, but like older people who know AI is hot, but haven't figured out how to use it or don't know, or just refuse to because they're stuck in their ways, but they know it's hot. If you're putting AI skills on your resume, you're going to stand out, I believe. So if anyone does this and gets some results, let me know. But I saw it and I was like, you know what? That's super savvy.
I agree, especially if you can tie it to a project. I don't like just throwing skills on a resume.
You got to show some impact.
But like, if you've used it to do something, talk about that. Like I played with AI to try to make a news podcast automation, and it hasn't worked. But because I'm a pretty bad programmer, but working with AI has helped me get a lot farther than I was ever going to get on my own. So like, if that project worked, I would put that on my resume saying that like AI helped me do it, because it also utilizes AI for summarizing, creating descriptions, and some voice or text to voice sort of stuff. So.
Love it. All right, guys, we are at time. I want to say thank you to this guy right here, Josh Mason, hopping into the A-hole chair, basically, as I slide over to the B-hole chair. We had a great jaw-jacking session. Remember, at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time later today, we got Brandon Stevens, former pro golfer, but he's going to be talking to us about working in sales, which Josh also knows a thing or two about. Plus, he's just a really cool dude. He's got like this hunting jacket he wears to formal events. That's kind of cool. He's a true Southern gentleman. I think you guys are going to really, really enjoy him. And he's a close personal friend that I don't get to spend enough time with. So, guys, thank you, Josh Mason. Thank you, chat. I hope you guys got your questions answered. Go enter to win the future is comic books. There's no reason that you shouldn't at least enter. You do not have to be present to win. I will just tag you on Discord, and that'll be that. Right. So until tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time, or today at 4:30 p.m., I'm Jerry. He's Josh. Until next time, stay secure.